In this week's Retro Pop Culture News, there is a Who's the Boss reboot that's being made with Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano returning. Also, Mike Tyson is fighting Roy Jones Jr. very soon, and the Animaniacs have a release date for their new series, and we have a lot more news to talk about, so don't turn that down. What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch, your #1 source for retro pop culture and news. So the classic 1980s action series Knight Rider is getting a new movie according to Deadline.com. The original series is about a high-tech car named Kit that assists the mysterious crime-fighting driver Michael Knight. The original show starred David Hasselhoff, and there's already been a few different reboots that have been made over the years, but this news is for a new movie that's going to be based on the show, and the movie's going to take place in present day, but no plot has been announced so far. I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring David Hasselhoff to be in this new movie in some form or fashion. I know he is going to be involved with the movie, but whether he's actually going to be cast to star in it or be one of the actors in it, that we still don't know. But if I get any more news on it, I'll let y'all know about it. Then in our next story, Who's the Boss is actually returning with a revival series, and both Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano, they're set to reprise their roles as Tony and Samantha for the series. It's going to actually be set in modern times, and they're going to be telling a story of where Tony and Samantha are in their lives today. The show was just announced and it's in pre-production right now, so there's no news on the casting or when it's going to premiere yet, but I am going to be following this story pretty closely, so I'll let you know if I hear anything new. And Hulu finally announced that on November 20th, the Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, they're going to be returning. The first season is going to be 13 episodes, and the original voice actors are going to be returning. So hopefully it's going to be even remotely as good as the original cartoon. Oh, and not to be outdone, Nickelodeon is actually going to be bringing back Ren and Stimpy. There's no news on when this show is going to be returning yet, though. As much as I love Ren and Stimpy, I think I love Pinky and the Brain a little bit more, but it is really cool to see that Nickelodeon is starting to bring back so many of their older shows and doing revivals or reboots on these different series. So I'm anxious to see what Nickelodeon has to do for Ren and Stimpy. Another revival that's actually in the works is Dirty Dancing, which is getting a sequel. And since nobody can put Baby in the corner, it looks like Jennifer Grey is going to be returning for this movie. Then there is a reboot of Firestarter that's going to be made, and Stephen King is actually going to be directly involved in it. And also Tremors 7, as if we didn't have enough Tremors as it is. They finally finished their production, and this movie should be coming out pretty soon. Then there is a documentary that's coming out about the final days of actor and comedian Robin Williams. It's called Robin's Wish. It actually has a trailer out for the film, and I'll link to that down below. I really miss Robin Williams, and it'll be kind of nice to get to see this and kind of get a little backstory on what kind of issues he was going through before he died. Next up, I want to let you know about Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. on September 12th. Tyson is coming out of retirement to fight Roy Jones Jr., who is also coming back out of retirement. So Roy had a fight back in 2018 where he came out of retirement and defeated Scott Sigmund by unanimous decision. But this will be Mike Tyson's first fight since 2005, so it should be very interesting to watch. I'm rooting for Tyson, of course, because the same guy who beat him and put Tyson in retirement back in 2005, he actually wants a rematch after this fight that's coming up. Things are getting crazy out there with all the reboots, and now they've moved on to rebooting boxing. Finally, if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, I'll see you in the next video right over there. I'll catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.